mean, people were definitely upset over the Boss Babe one because a lot of women were like, I don't care to be attracted to you, talking to you.
Yeah.
But, and it's like, guys.
Look how, I mean, okay, yeah. Granted, she said, I don't care to be attracted to you, but look how unattractive that is. That's just vulgar. It just comes across as crass. Like, when a guy does it, it also comes across as crass, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, why even comment and say that kind of stuff? It's just like, this is the point that I'm making. It's like, what kind of guy wants to walk home to that? Like, that kind of attitude and just disrespect for just people in general. Like,
well, he won't have to. But another person I did I won't say argue with. I would say philosophize that I tried to enlighten, I would say, was the type of people who are like, we don't do it for anybody else, and why is it bad to be proud of your accomplishments? And I was like, and I think people need to hear this. Here's the difference. Most truly successful people downplay their success and they don't bring it up because they are afraid that they will be used for that.
Right.
Or that, it will rub somebody the wrong way or influence them somehow. And so the most successful people never bring that stuff up. And even if, and some other guy in the comment was like, well, how come women, that's the third question they ask? As a man, if you're successful and a woman asks you, what do you do for work? You give her the basic answer.
Right.
Let's say you own a social media marketing company.
Right.
You could just be like, I'm in social media marketing.
Right.
You're not lying.
Right.
And you're not telling this person, I own a business, so I probably have a lot of money and here's this, and that.
Right. Yeah.
Because you should not be giving out any of that information. And that's what I'm saying with the Boss Babe people. It's those sort of women that go on a date and they're like, I own a business and I make this. And they're like presenting all this information a lot of times too, without even being asked about it. And so that puts them in a tricky position because they're just giving all this stuff. Like, no, the guy doesn't have to work for any of this information. And I'm not saying it should be a game, but it is not a good idea for anybody to go on a first date and spill all your beans everywhere.
Yeah, it just reeks of insecurity, and it makes you seem like I said in the episode, if I'm a guy going around, if I have a shirt, I'm like alpha male. Yeah. It's like, okay, buddy.
Like, it's like if I saw a guy wearing that shirt, I'd be like, you're the farthest thing from that. And that's the thing is like, a man's not going to be like, no, she's not making this money.
Right.
But even if a man did that to a woman, it feels like you're trying to buy their affection, or you're trying to use this attribute that you have to cover up all your other attributes that might not be in line with what somebody wants, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that a woman can't be ambitious and own a business. And I think we did a really good job clarifying that in the episode. I know a lot of these people are just watching the clips, but it's the people who are trying to make an argument when we already tied up all those loose ends with the whole episode that we did. But I did want to mention that you don't see successful people going around gloating. And that's the word that I use too. It's this gloating from boss babes and gloating from men who think all their worth is just in their money or what they do, their career. And that's what turns people off. Because it would turn a woman off if a woman did the same thing. Because there are plenty of women who go on dates and a guy acts like what he does for a living is his main personality and don't base anything else off of anything else. And I know that a career means a lot to a man, and I'm not saying that career can't mean a lot to a woman, especially if she's doing her passion. But also, like, people who are coming from an authentic and passionate place don't talk about money and their success in the way, because it's not about that. Like, they have that, but the most successful people have success because of other genuine attributes, if that makes sense. It's not this like conceitedness, this wanting to gloat, this like I'm better than you energy.
Right, exactly.
Because that would turn anybody off.
Yeah, and the whole, like I said, the coming across abrasively, like, you've already lost your case when you've come across abrasively, because it's just, we're making the case that boss babes are not it's not an attractive trait, but then you're abrasive, and it's like, well, that's even less of an attractive trait for a woman to be abrasive. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they're just angry, just like the other guys are angry.
Yeah,
but
you know,
it'll even out.
It's whatever we say. It's always it's like
it's always the other side.
Yeah, it's always like
there's
very impartial people that are like, oh, okay, like let me hear some constructive criticism from me as a man, and also I can, these are what it's like. So, but it's fine.
It is kind of bothering, but it's really not, because one, I know we both like seeing the other side, and there are occasionally, unfortunately, this is occasional thing that someone will give a perspective that is brought up in the proper way, and it makes us think like, okay, well, I could see that point of view.
Yeah.
But when you bring it up in a way like she did, where she's just like, well, I don't want you to be attracted to me, like, that's definitely the wrong way to do it. And there's plenty of men who do the same thing. And at that point, I feel bad for them, because I'm like, I get you're upset, but you have come to a point where you're just spewing it all over the internet.
Yeah.
And you're not really listening. Like, even if this upsets you to hear or something, or maybe you believe some of it, but you don't believe all of it, if you express that, again, going back to our Surrendered Wife book, with the correct wording of things, people would actually be like, oh, okay, well, I understand your perspective of it. But when you're just like, you suck, or like, I don't care what you think, that's not bringing anything to the discussion. And we've always said that we're open to hearing what other people have to say. We're open-minded people who would change their mind. That's how we've learned a lot of these things, honestly, is like making the mistakes and hearing a whole bunch of sides and seeing a whole bunch of sides and figuring out what makes the most logical sense. And it's just sad when the really upset and angry people just go on this like commenting spree, because it's like, if you listen to some of it, you could benefit your life, but you're choosing to live in this like hatred, this anger, this emotional place that's only harming you, not anybody else.
And it's not like we're ever unempathetically shitting on people.
No.
We say some things that people don't like, but it's out of love for them. It's never, we're never making fun of.
Yeah, we try to be.
Yeah, we're not making fun of people. We're not saying they're scum of the earth, right? We're talking about things objectively and trying to,
help people.
Right, exactly. So it's
never help you.
It's never, there is content out there that is purposely like shitting on people.
Yeah.
That's not us ever. Not even when we disagree. So, but and so many times I see comments and I'm like, oh shit, did I say something? Or did you say something, in that clip? And then I listen to the clip. I'm like, no, that's perfectly logical. It's like there's nothing. This person just is whatever. So
they're just upset.
Better than